So yeah, I have been fortunate to manifest things that actually come to life. My dreams are my reality, and I feel good about that. And I ran track for, I don't know, 4 years or so. But I always was fast. So I would run against my uncles, and they would never like just let me win. I had to push, but I was thinking I was gonna beat grown men. I was the fastest in my elementary classes, so I was beating the boys in grade school, and then I went to middle school and I was running fast. High school fast. I was a hurdler, 110 hurdler, and a 200, not a 100, because I like to gain speed and then turn on the turbo button the last maybe 40 meters. Um, so my family has been big into the Olympics. We would watch the games together, and there was always certain people that we had our eyes on, and it was usually the black girl in every discipline, whether it was gymnastics, sports, not sports, track, and I feel like that's where we mostly were.
Hmm.
Um, but either way, it was just like, oh my gosh, this person is amazing. And in my life, since I've had the business, so I have to attribute the manifestation to Black Girl Sunscreen, it has put me in positions and places in rooms with people that I never ever thought that I'd be in. And I feel so fortunate about that. So today's guest is literally a manifestation where I saw this person on TV. Not, I wasn't so young, but I was into what she was doing, and I followed her journey. So to have her sitting next to us today is something special, and I am excited to hear from her. I'm excited, but yet nervous because I don't know what she will say or what our reactions will be, just to be quite honest, right?
Hmm.
So I don't know how you all feel about manifestations and being in new places with new people, but that's what this is. So Kimberly, what's happening at Black Girl Sunscreen?
Yes. So there are two things
Mm-hmm.
I want to mention. So, okay, reminder, all you men out there. So BGS Men launched a little over a month ago now, and we're headed into fall, right? So temperatures are going to be getting a little colder. The air is going to be a little drier. It's really, really important, men, that you keep your skin hydrated and moisturized. So we're talking two steps. It's really easy. Wash your face and put on your BGS Men.
Okay.
Moisturizes, and it protects you obviously from the effects of the sun, the rays of the sun. So available on Amazon as well as blackgirlsunscreen.com.
Kimberly, I heard you actually make it so simple for these men out here. So you actually gave them two steps when for most it's three steps. So
Right.
wash your face. So the third step is, well, wash your face, then moisturize your face or anything in between there,
Yeah.
and then put on the sunscreen. Kimberly, what she's saying to you men is wash your face and then put on your BGS Men because it serves as a dual purpose with
That's
that
right.
moisturizer and that SPF. I love it.
That's right.
Dang, y'all are geniuses over there. Okay, and we're waiting for our next guest. Kimberly, we have an
Yes.
amazing person sitting next to us that I have manifested to be here.
Did
To be
you?
quite honest, yes, I have for a very long time in the capacity of Shamelessly Shontay and what's happening over the weekend
Okay.
because your story is quite amazing. But I want Kimberly to give you a proper introduction.
Okay. So we are honored to have with us one of the most electrifying athletes of our time. A global icon in track and field, she captured the world's attention with her blistering speed, winning 5 medals at the 2000 Sydney Olympics. But her story is far more than just records and podiums. It's about resilience, redemption, and redefining success beyond the track. Today, she is a powerful advocate for personal growth, using her platform to inspire others to rise above adversity and find strength in their struggles. Get ready for a candid and powerful conversation with a true champion in every sense of the word. Please welcome to the show, Marion Jones.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for that.
We're going to give you a round of applause on air because you deserve that and so much more.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I just expressed how excited and honored I am to have you on the show. You have such an incredible life, career, and story, and we want you to share that journey with us. So there's a lot to discuss. So
let's get after it.
Let's do it. All right. So you are an Angelino, and now a Texan. Do you tell people you're a Texan?
No.
I'm with you. Did you want to change your license when it was time? Right?
Well, I'm originally from California.
Yeah.
I'm an LA girl, and I went cross country to Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Went to school there, loved it there, won a national title there. So I consider myself a North Carolinian.
Oh, okay.
North Kakalaki, whatever they call it.
North Kakalaki. Yeah.
And then, love takes you places sometimes. So love took me to Texas.
Okay.
And decided to have my babies there and raise my kids there. And I live in the best of the Texas cities.
No, ma'am, you don't. No, ma'am, you don't.
I live in Austin, Texas.
No, ma'am, you don't.
And we can take this off air,
Shontay.
But and I've been there now almost 2 decades.
Okay.
And my kids are now, 2 of them are out of the house. One in a few years going to be out of the house. Yeah. And then, I'm out of Texas. I know that when that happens, but it has served its purpose.
Oh, so you are going to go? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. I'm on countdown mode, really.
Yeah.
But it's served its purpose. I've just made the choice to raise these kids in a community, a loving community that is looking out for them, which is huge. So
okay, I am embarrassed to always give, and this is, you know what? Let me not talk so much crap about Texans because I did relocate there for a reason, but I actually don't like to give my license to the TSA people because when you come from a state that's so strong like New York, you got that New York license, New York should be the whole country. I got crickets in here. It is crickets in here. Nobody agrees, but this is the New Yorker in me, and if Frances was around, she would agree too. Anyway. I digress. You are from Belize originally.
Well, my family is from. I was born here
Okay.
in Los Angeles. My mom is from Belize and came up here when she was young to just have a better life for myself and my brother.
How you feeling about Belize? Have you been back?
Oh, yes. It's beautiful. I love it. Yeah. I have dual citizenship. So, when I crossed the line in Sydney in 2000, I looked for the American flag and I looked for the Belizean flag because my mom was a single mom. And so I'm deep in the Belizean culture.
Have you ever participated in Carnival?
I have not.
Uh-huh.
Well, also because I don't have all that much rhythm.
Oh, really?
Right. So so I was that person. No, I don't. I'm that person in the club whereby if I'm just looking up at the ceiling hearing the music, I can jive, right? But if I look at somebody in the club who is offbeat, I'm that person that's going to mimic the person who's offbeat. So I can't look at anybody. Just doing my own. My eyes are closed. So it's hard to show up at Carnival.
Is it like this or something? Show me the movement. Oh. Real fast.
I mean, if I'm just by myself, my eyes,
it's
I'm good.
Real fast, though.
Yes.
Do it again.
But that's why I have never been to Carnival.
Okay,
right?
okay.
I wonder all those beat is going through your head right now. What's that beat?
So I don't know. But when you think, reggae, soca music, I love it. I love to close my eyes in my room by myself and listen to it, but not in public. Not in public.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right. So we share a commonality here. We're Libras. Are you into astrology?
I'm not.
Okay, then I'm gonna move on. Scott, go ahead. Scott.
So with that dancing, I was gonna say, Marion, your that calling for sports athletics came early.
Yeah.
Just tell me a little bit, how that success came early
to you.
Wait a second,
though. Scott, tell her who you are, and just
because I want to know,
And we will get
She
to
jumped
it.
right into it.
You want me to share my back, and then you'll share some of
Yours?
yours?
Share yours. I'll share
Okay.
Or
mine.
you want her to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll go first. Well, as I mentioned, I have one sibling, and early on, my mom and I and my older brother just realized that I had some unique physical talent. I loved every sport. Got involved in track and soccer and like everything. I loved it, and I was just good at it. Like just good at it, and I was competitive, and to the point where I made my first Olympic team at 15. I just like loved it. As I said, I'm from LA. In '84, the LA Games came here. I was 9, and that was back in the day when they would bring the American athletes in a parade prior to the games, like in the community, so that the community can cheer them on. And we didn't have the resources to actually go and watch them compete, but my mom took me out there to watch them like be paraded, and that was the first summer that I had any experience or any memory of the Olympic experience. And I sat there at 9, and I said, "That's what I want to do." I didn't know specifically what, if it was going to be track, whatever, but I knew that feeling, that look when they crossed the line and they were victorious, I needed that in my life.
Yeah.
And that summer I wrote that I was going to be Olympic champion on my chalkboard. And like the rest is kind of history. Picked up basketball probably when I was in junior high. Loved that part of it. I got exposed to the individual sport, of course, with track. And then I got my team sport vibe. So, yeah. That's how it kind of started.
So I am too an athlete. I feel like once an athlete, you're always an athlete. You just have the limited mobility, right?
And you just wait.
But I ran track. I ran track too. I just didn't.
I ran
could beat
track.
I could beat Sky though.
No, she can't. She cannot.
She couldn't, and she can't right now?
She couldn't, and she can't,
And she won't.
and she won't. Will not.
All right.
And I'm a lot older than her.
Well, you accepted my you accepted my challenge of the saying it 5 times fast. Do we need to go out to the hall?
So the only way we gonna go out to the hall is if you're racing with us.
Oh, that's okay.
I ran ones, twos, fours, and I did long and triple.
Okay.
So I'm very familiar with the sport. We actually met in 2012.
What?
I have a twin sister.
Okay.
And we introduced you. You had just written your book.
I was kind.
He was very kind.
Okay.
Very
Was there a
kind, very
moment that
sweet.
you weren't kind to people?
Generally, I'm kind, but sometimes somebody will catch you in
Yeah.
a moment. Sometimes when you're just like, so I'm glad that I was.
Yes. No.
Hey, where were we?
You know what? I can't remember.
It had that big of an impact on you.
Yes, it did. I was.
She has a photo. She has a photo.
Yes, I have a picture. I have your book
Okay.
that you wrote. You signed it for me and my sister. It was an amazing moment.
Did she run also?
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
Well, shout
yes.
out to sis. What's your sister's name?
Nevada.
All right, Nevada. Were y'all born in Nevada?
No, so we're originally from Chicago,
Okay.
and I also live in Dallas.
And everybody wants to know why she was named Nevada.
Yes,
And you say Nevada, she says Nevada.
Okay.
Nevada.
Nevada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna show that picture to her a little later. Probably pop it up on the screen
Yeah.
Yo,
too.
that's cool.
You might remember.
Honestly, I come across so many people too, and they're like, "Hey, we met, 25 years ago," and I'm like, "Oh, that's great."
Well, let me tell you something funny, especially like in certain cultures.
Yeah.
Whereby I kind of grew up in the household of our community, right? So people, when they see me, whether they've met me or not, like, because I've grown up in their household,
Yeah.
they're like, "Come here, girl."
Yeah.
Right? And thankfully, I don't have like a phobia, a touch phobia or whatever. But like people see me as their little sister, their cousin, their auntie, and when they introduce themselves, they're like, "Yeah, you know me, right? Like I'm Brutus. I'm Johnny's older cousin's brother's sister." I'm like, "Oh yeah," and I'm really
So you
good.
go with it. Yeah.
I'm good at and you know
good.
probably Shontay, right? When people, you can't like blow out their. You gotta just let it go.
Yeah, don't bust the
Oh
bubble.
yeah, you look so good.
Now you look so good.
You remember me, Johnny? Johnny.
But we had a guest on the show that said that people do that to him all the time, and one person like not ran him off the road, but like had him pulled off to the side and was just like, "We know each other. I need that job." I need a job. We cousins, remember? So anyway, listen, with all the success in both track and field and basketball, okay, you've achieved a level of success that most athletes will never, and that's making history in so many different ways. So I want to shift gears and talk about a single decision that changed your life, and maybe some might call it a fall from grace.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, I've heard it described all kinds of different ways, but we'll go with that one for a moment.
how would you describe it?
I would describe it as a young woman in the midst of a world championship wave that takes you so far away from the people in your world that you know and that will give it to you straight, and you're relying on people to just pat you on the back and tell you how great you are, and your decision-making process gets cloudy.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully, though, there's an opportunity to come back to shore, and however that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And mine was very public, well documented. But the point of it for me is, I like to joke, and I share it a lot of times when people ask me to speak, is like that I truly think that like I'm one bad mama jamma. Let me tell you why. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because not many people who have hit the heights of success that I've gotten an opportunity to experience and have gotten it knocked down, lost it all, say to themselves, all right, I'm going to put myself back out there.
Yeah.
Right. And there are going to be doors that are shut in my face. People tell me that they don't want to hear it. And I keep pushing. I keep pushing until we wake up one day and you're like, okay, people want to hear. All right. How are you going to make this into something positive?
Right.
And I think most people would have stayed knocked down.
So I have a follow-up question from that, but I want to hit these two bullets. So we're gonna talk about the past for a quick second, okay? So in '08, you were convicted of not telling the truth about PEDs, and then your medals were taken away.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And you said that this was very public for you. Why do you think so?
Well, it was very public in that obviously it was worldwide news, but it was.
But why?
Mm-hmm. Well, because I was on the cover of every magazine.
Okay.
Around. I was very confident. A woman of color.
Black woman, yep.
And I was brash and not cocky, but confident in my ability to be great.
Mm-hmm.
And I have found, now that I'm older, that is not always well received.
Uh-huh.
Right? And because I unequivocally said, I am going to win this many medals at the Olympics. And hey, I don't know if it's never been done. It hadn't, but I'm going to do it anyway. That when there is a fall from grace, it becomes worldwide news. I also think that it was a popular story because nobody else kind of took it on the chin like I did.
I mean, later on, and we're going to come to Kimberly in a second, but later on, somebody else, was also discovered doing something very similar. And yes, it was worldwide news, but it wasn't the same repercussions. Do you think you were made an example of?
Yes. Mm-hmm. But I say that with a grain of salt. I say that because I truly think that when we're brought into this world, there's a plan, or there's a plan for us.
Yeah.
Right? And without making those poor choices and without the severe consequences of them, I wouldn't be where I am right now with a clear understanding of what my purpose is. And sometimes you have to go through the storm. Sometimes you have to go through it to really impact the lives of people like how I want to impact the lives of people. I'll tell you this. Let me explain. I tell the Olympic athletes now, like the younger athletes that I mentor, that you have a small window of fame, really, in regards to sport. You have a few years where you're a household name, right? And if you win a gold medal, high five, that's great. But if you don't stand for something bigger, you will be easily forgotten, right? And so I share with some of these kids and these young people, right? Like, while you have the spotlight on you, be more than running fast from here to there.
Okay.
Right? Like, grab onto that so that once your career is done, what you truly want to do, and hopefully it's social impact and helping the lives truly of people, like that can continue on besides after your running days.
Yeah.
And what I share now is bigger than sport. Right? It's bigger than sport. Not many people that I meet can relate to being an Olympic champion or an Olympian or a convicted felon, right? But everybody, as you heard me share before, everybody can relate to some type of failure in their life. And it's on all kind of levels, right? Some people will admit it. Some people will not. Some people are dealing with crap and stuff inside of them, and they're just like searching for inspiration or advice or tools on how to pull themselves up out of it. And I can't think of another person on this planet who is a living example that, you know what, things happen in life, right? Whether it's your own doing or not, it could be, your failure can be a relationship failure. A lot of people have dealt with that, right? It could be a financial failure. It could be a tax fudging failure, right? Right? But everybody has dealt with it, and everybody at some point are wondering, how do I come up out of that? And that is how I relate. That is what I share.
I'm curious, though, before you got to that point, Marion, when you were, let's say at the beginning of this storm, when you were doing the press conferences and talking about what had happened, in that moment, were you thinking, okay, maybe this is the beginning of the end? Or were you thinking, okay, I'm going to say what I have to say during these press conferences because I know there's an opportunity for me to still have a professional career in sports?
No. So when I, stood on the courtroom steps and I shared that I had made such terrible choices, at that moment it was, you know what? I have babies, right? And I'm a mother. And when you have kids, things become very clear sometimes. And the things that you say and don't say are impactful in their lives. And so when I shared that, it was needed because I knew that one day I was going to be teaching my kids, all right, Monty, Amir, Eva Marie, those are my kids. When you make a poor choice, what are you supposed to do? Right? Are you supposed to cover it up and hide it for 5, 6, 7 years? Or do you come and tell mom, we deal with the consequences, whatever they be, and we move on, right? And I just couldn't continue to live that life. So that was initially why I shared it. But in the midst of the 6 months incarceration, 49 days in solitary, you have a lot of time to reflect on who you are, who you were, why you made certain choices, but most importantly, like what's next, right? Could I disappear from the spotlight for the rest of my life and be mom and be content? Sure, right? Like I love my family, I love my community that I'm a part of. Or do you say, I was put in this position to do more than that. I was put in this position to share my ups and my downs, my successes and my failures. And in the midst of all that reflection, I realized, wow, this idea of the failure relates a whole lot more to the general population than my successes. Right? Because people like sit and they're like, oh, high five on your successes. But when I share, I was knocked down, right? And I didn't know where, how.
Marion.
And most people can relate to that.
What led to the decision to do that?
To come back out?
No. For your admittance. You admitted something, right, in 2008.
Oh, I did that because and I had kids. right? I had been covering it up. I was thinking I could, cover things up and it wouldn't come out. And then and you just know it becomes heavy.
Yeah.
Like a lie becomes heavy.
Okay.
And heavy and heavy and heavy. But then my kids were young. And I'm like, all right, come into the bathroom. Let's talk about what you did, right? And I'm like, I'm telling them, I'm trying to teach them, I'm parenting them. And then I'm turning around, I'm like, okay, Marion, you're not living that life. What are you going to do about it? Right? Do you risk everything that you have trained, lived, dreamt of, the life that you've created, just to protect all that? Or do you turn your face and you look at your kids and you know that one day, like, they're going to know the story, right? And they're going to say, you know what? My mom was teaching us, she was parenting us while she was still covering stuff up, right? And I didn't want to be that parent, right? So do they know the story? Yes. Will they be able to, follow the timeline and say, okay, my mom, had was a great talent, a lot of success. Yeah, made some poor choices, had a lot of consequences. But you know what? She put that, like, she risked all of that to do the right thing for us. Like, that means more to me than anything.
So you say failure is not forever. How do you intend to bring this slogan on with you forever?
Oh, continue to push through the doors that are closed. Because if people are honest with themselves, which I wasn't, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I know a lot of people are in that space, the quicker that they realize that that you are not your biggest mistake.
Mm-hmm.
You're not your biggest mistake, that the things in your life that hold you back, they do not have to define who you are. And how do I plan to keep this going? Hey, you're going to see my face here and here and there and on this podcast and on this morning show until right, because I'm living the life that really I've always wanted. Like, I've always wanted to impact the lives of people on a massive scale. And you think when you're competing and you're winning gold medals, you think you're doing that. And in a way you are, right? But when you are able to find the common thread with you and the world, like, that's what creates legends.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sitting here and I can see that you are, like, living your life on your own terms, which I think is also something that people will look at and be like, okay, like, I feel that, I want to be that too. And so I, just stepping back and thinking about, another one of your truths that you chose to share. And that is that, identifying with the LGBTQ community. How hard, or maybe it wasn't even hard. Was it hard coming out and sharing that? Or was it like freeing and like, you know what, this is part of my truth that I am sharing?
Yeah, I don't know. It was hard. So, I made the choice after the hard consequences and being away and all that. I made the choice to step away, right, from everything, to be mom, to focus on them purposefully. And in that time, when I was busy, like, going to therapy and reflecting on who I was and where I was, like, I made the choice to live my authentic, true self in all of that. But because I was away from the spotlight, it wasn't a thing. Like, my community, my family, my kids, like, we all knew, and like my family will say they always knew. But then when I made the choice to put myself back out there within the past year, and like my team are like, oh, Marion, like, people don't know.
Yeah,
like, because they don't know. They only remember you, like, your former husbands and like all this.
Because I wanted to know which one was actually, were you more apprehensive about? Was it coming back into, like, quote unquote spotlight, or announcing that you have a wife?
Right. Well, I mean, I don't have a wife. I have a
Thompson?
partner.
Partner.
You see, you see how rumors get started.
Yes.
But no, I think the hardest part for me was navigating that I'm not down with the BS, right? Like I'm not down with constantly talking about scandal and the past. Do I understand the need to have to use certain examples to show how, why? Sure. But I'm not interested in sitting down for 45 minutes, an hour, talking about something that happened 10, 15, 20 years ago. So that was the hardest part, like navigating that. I don't have any, love is love, right? Like y'all hear it. And if you're happy and you're healthy, and once I realized that that part of my story also could truly impact people, like young people, older people who are almost 50, right? Who for their whole lives, for whatever reason, right, didn't feel comfortable sharing who they truly are. That maybe, again, my example can lead people to be like, you know what, like this is who you are. And there are gonna be people that hate you, love you, don't care, in between. Just live your life.
You said your family already always knew. How did he always know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And I shared certain things with my brother. He was like, really? Tell me something that I don't know. But it's a good feeling to be in a place whereby I don't gotta cover stuff up because of the status quo, because of pressure from sponsorships, right? Like, it's just, I'm in a good place.
I'm happy to hear that, and we can tell we're having a good time with you. I actually want to play a game.
All right.
You want to play a game?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yay. Okay.
We're going to play a game.
Yes. So it's this or that.
Mhm.
Okay. So we're going to give you two options, and you choose what's, what you feel most represents you.
And are we going to play the song You Can Get With This, so you can get while we're
Oh,
doing this?
my. Yep.
Okay, my
Got it.
Okay. But Shontay, you have the first question.
I do? Okay, I'm here.
Is everybody playing this game, or is it just
The three
Of
of
us.
us,
Okay,
but we're
all right.
asking you the questions. We might have a little bit of input.
okay?
Yeah.
We had we had some inclinations on what you would choose.
All right.
So that was our game.
All right.
Ready? You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Relaxed hair or locks?
Oh, lock it up, Lock Nation.
Because you used to have relaxed hair, though. That was just a
Yes,
thing.
and mainly because it's hard to deal.
Yeah.
It's hard to deal with humidity and sweat and trying to look a certain way. And
Yeah.
but again, I've actually wanted to lock it up for a long time. And like during the pandemic, right? Like I was just done. I was done with extra. I'm a low maintenance lady, and it just kind of seems to fit my world, my lifestyle. I love it.
I love it. Okay. Cardio or weights?
Cardio, but as you age,
Weights become more important.
they do.
Okay.
All right.
Sky.
Basketball or track and field?
Basketball.
Okay. Angel Reese.
We were wrong on that, I think. No, I don't know what we chose.
Okay.
You thought I was gonna say track?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
No one likes to run.
I love to run. Okay. Angel Reese.
Or who?
Caitlin Clark.
Ooh.
Okay, let's give two different names then.
Yeah.
Angel Reese or homegirl from Dallas. What's her name? I don't want to butcher it.
Boomacay.
Yep.
Angel all day long.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, you ready? Well, she doesn't like to run.
But
Well,
still
no,
do
I
it.
do like
Still
to
do
run.
it.
I do like to run. It's
Okay,
just
ready? Are you ready? Run in a bra plus the booty shorts, right? Because you know how it's like the 2-piece. Or did you want to do a 1-piece bodysuit?
Well, let's back up. I would do the bra, but I never did the booty shorts,
Yeah.
even when I was running.
Yeah.
It depends on what phase of life you're in. Like 20 years ago, I would have done the 2-piece. Right now, I'm gonna pick the 1-piece.
Okay.
I cover up certain things.
The tights. Okay, UNC or Duke?
Oh, wait. Next question.
No, you
know.
did not know.
Carolina all day long.
No, we know.
Yeah.
All day
Okay.
long.
Okay, Marion, salad or French fries?
Salad.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Yes.
Okay, and now we know the answer to
Yeah.
this. But it was
Guys or gals? Okay.
What? Let's do it. Let's do it. Guys or gals?
Gals. All day long.
Oh, jeez. Marion, that was so much fun. Talk to us about what's next.
Oh, yes. I'm just so excited to be able to be on this life journey and really be able to help people. Like, really, like, inspire, motivate, coach, teach people that you don't have to stay stuck in your mess, right? You do not have to stay there. There are resources, there are tools to learn, to pull yourself out of it. And there's so many things in my future, so many that I wish I could share with you. But you're going to see me on the air. You're going to see me on TV. You might see me competing in something
The
in
Masters?
the next several months.
Ooh.
It's not what you
Masters?
think.
Could be
It's
Masters.
not what
Shontay,
you
we're
think.
signing up. We
We
have
already
to do
signed
this.
up. So she said it's not
Do
what
you
we
swim?
think.
I can. I can learn.
That's all I'm saying.
I can learn.
You going to synchronize swimming?
It's so cool. I tell you, I don't have any rhythm. I
Oh,
can't
right.
do that.
I
No,
don't know.
me in,
synchronizing.
Synchronized swimming is so cool. Y'all don't think it's cool? Anyway, all right.
I think that's really cool.
you doing
It's
diving?
hard.
She back on the track.
She said swimming. What else is there?
Keep it broad. It could be swimming. It could be. Anyways, we're not-
Badminton.
Swimming, Sky.
Oh, what she said?
Triathlon?
Triathlon.
Well, I guess. So she said keep it broad, simple, just a regular race, like freestyle.
maybe.
With
Yeah.
whom though? With whom? That's the.
But you
question,
also
too.
understand, though, anything that you think and that I share, you know that it's not like a solitary
Oh, maybe
thing. It's going to be something broad, potentially.
coaching at a major university for swimming team.
That would really limit me.
Okay.
Right? Whatever this is needs to be able to inspire a group of people, right? A certain community,
Yep.
right? And it's a small platform for a bigger message to be shared. Oh, that's so broad.
It sounds like
And
Black
I'm
Girl
not gonna.
Sunscreen. Sounds like Black Girl Sunscreen needs to be part of this.
I think, and it's going to be outdoors.
Yeah, listen. You got a guess?
No.
I love guessing. Okay.
Well, when it is revealed, I'll come back and we could talk about it. How's that?
You better. All right. So listen. So Marion was so mysterious on what's next for her. So we don't know what's next for her. So we will just manifest that it is excellent and she loves it.
Yeah, and it's going to inspire people to do more, even after they don't think they can. It's going to get people out of their comfort zone, which is
Okay.
where you find your true calling, out of your comfort zone.
Okay.
Really.
And there you have it. Miss Shontay Lundy has watched Marion Jones for years on TV, and I'm sitting right next to this wonderful woman. You are listening to Shamelessly Shontay. Bye.
Black girl sunscreen. You don't gotta dodge them sunbeams. Just put on your black girl sunscreen. Ay, black don't crack a dozen. Black people get sunburned too.